In this video, we're going to practice using the product and the quotient rules for finding derivatives. So in number one, we have a product, and let's take a look at the product rule. Here it is right here. It says that if we have a function that's a product, like this f times g, we want to take the derivative. We take f, that's the first function, times the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first times the second. Okay, so let's do that here. Let's apply that here. All right, and we have that y prime is equal to the first function. Just write that over. Times the derivative of the second, so that would be using the power rule 8x plus 6. Okay, plus the derivative of the first, that would be 15x to the fourth minus 4x times the second. So what we have here is, you could say f g prime plus f prime g. All right, let's go on. Let's see. The second one says that, second problem says that if y is equal to the square root of x minus 5, then dy dx is 1 over 2 times the square root of x minus 5. And we could show this with the limit definition of the derivative. So for this problem number 2, we'll assume that we know this. So here we want to find dy dx, where y is equal to 3x squared plus 2 times square root x minus 5. All right, so dy dx, which is the same as y prime, is equal to the first times the derivative of the second. So I'm just going to copy this down, assuming that we've already done that calculation, plus the derivative of the first, so there we have 6x times the second. Okay, so again that would be f, and this is g prime, and this here is f prime, and this is g. Okay, let's look at part B. Well, in part B we have a quotient. Okay, so let's take a look at the quotient rule. Here it is. If you have a quotient, you're taking the derivative, you square the denominator, put the denominator up here, times the derivative of the numerator, minus derivative of the denominator times the numerator. All right, so let's apply that rule. Well, let's see. Okay, so here's our f and here's our g. So in this case, y prime is equal to, so in the denominator we take g squared, so that's square root x minus 5 squared, or actually this is just x minus 5. Here we write g times the derivative of the numerator, so that would be 15x squared, minus the derivative of the denominator, so we're assuming we know that that is 1 over 2 square root x minus 5, times the numerator. And that's it. We won't simplify these unless we need to, unless we're using them in some sort of, unless we're using them further to answer another question. Otherwise, we'll just leave it like that without simplifying. Okay, let's look at 3. And what do we have in number 3? Well, here we have a function that's a product, but the first function is actually a quotient. So we're going to use the product rule, but within the product rule, we're going to have to use the quotient rule. So here we're actually using 2 rules. So y prime is equal to, let me write down the first times the derivative of the second plus derivative of the first times the second. Okay, so here we have the first is this, x plus 2 over 2x plus 5 times the derivative of the second derivative of this one, Okay, so that would be 12x squared plus derivative of the first. Okay, I'm just going to continue on this line. Derivative of the first would be the derivative of this quotient, so we have to do the quotient rule right here. Square the denominator. We're doing the quotient rule. Put the denominator here. Multiply by derivative of the numerator, which is just 1, minus the derivative of the denominator, that's 2, times the numerator. Okay, so all that was the f prime. All right, and then we have to multiply by g. So we're just going to multiply by 4x cubed plus 6. So we basically followed this product rule right here. Here's our f and here's our g. And here we have f and here we have g prime. And here we have f prime, all this, and then that's g. And like I said, we'll just leave it. We won't simplify this unless we need it further.